in 19. And this ACEN Business Evening is an event where we normally have it in one of the 7 zones that we normally have. I can have 7 zones, not 6, because Lagos has 2. That is why we have 7 for each zone of the country. And then normally we have 4 business evenings for every year. And this is the second in the series for 2025. We had the first one in Ibadan. And then this is the second one now we are having in Kano. It's an event where members and sometimes even non-members will come together to share ideas, in an atmosphere where it is very relaxed. And as consulting engineers, we are not just technical experts, but rather there is the business angle of our, activities, because you cannot make a very successful consulting engineer without some business acumen. So that is why our forefathers who have, initiated this program to actually, brought about this idea of the business evening. And so far it has been very successful. I enjoin you to go to our website, YouTube, and other social media handle where we have some fast business. You will see that there are very topical issues that have been discussed over the years that may be very useful to all of us. So, and also I just forgot to recognize those joining us online. I just overheard the coordinators telling us that over 50 participants are online so far. Is it up now? How much? Even 62. I can see 62. Yes. So we have up to 62. So I recognize all those joining us online, the secretariat, and then I can see why a very senior, the immediate past president, Engineer Badio FNSE is there. Engineer Professor Babagana Mohammed is also there, and so many other distinguished members of the Association for Consulting Engineering are joining us online. So if you can hear me, I want to say that you are all welcome to this second business evening in Kano. Thank you for joining.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. And
thank you very much, Mr. President. Greetings to you and the ACEN Exco.
Okay, you are welcome, sir. Thank you, sir. I think based on the President's directives, I think we have to say 1 or 2 things. And if there's any other person that's supposed to say 1 or 2 words about Engineer Dr. Mohammed Jibrin, Fellow Nigerian Society of Engineers, former DG and CEO, National Board for Technology Incubation, I should be one of them. As I stand here before you as the coordinator of Zone 2, by implication, that once I'm coordinating the Northwestern Nigeria. And then I was a former branch chairman, current Naimeki chapter chairman. I mentioned this to tell you, but in the year 2011, when I got registered to the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Engineer Mohammed Jibrin chaired that board to make me a member of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. So if there's any great thing he did in this fora, looking at me, I'm sure he will be very happy. Sir, your boy that you register as a member of Nigerian Society of Engineers is now a National Council member of ACEN, former branch chairman and the Naimeki chapter chairman of the state. So you are here to make presentation where your boy is the organizer of the distance. I think this is enough to say. Thank you.
Maybe there's one heavyweight that I have to also say. And, because I think we are all believers here in this country, and they say that anybody who is not thankful to fellow humans is also not thankful for God Almighty. So I must mention that as far back as I think up to 20 years now, 2003, 2004, I happened to benefit. Then I was aspiring to register as a corporate member of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. And I happened to come all the way from Maiduguri to take my refresher course. Then it was called refresher course, not MCP now. So, and I think Dr. Mohammed Jibrin was the coordinator then at the Technology Incubation Center here in Farm Center. So I happened to, interact. That was my first interaction with him. Thank you. I must say, thank you.
Thank you very much. That's a big one. If I'm trying to mention mine, the entire president passed through his on a team to become a member. So going by our agenda, President, so the IT guys, if you can present the paper, and then the presenter will take his position to do why you are here. Thank you very much, Doctor.
If the president stood up while making his address, why should I sit down? No. Mr. President, sir, glad to meet you once again. And I'm happy to see you in very high spirits. You're welcome back to the country. May Allah answer all the prayers. Engineer. COREN. They said the young shall grow. Am I right? Now the young have grown up. Can see our former chairman, Engineer Yunus of the chairman. Megida of COREN, Zonal Office, and so on and so forth. Those online are equally duly acknowledged. Their presence is acknowledged. So now we are going straight to the presentation, though it's not yet on the screen. The title is The Imperatives of Having Engineering Consultants in the Implementation of Engineering Investments. I did not use the word project. I said engineering investments. Because what I said, I'm venturing. He laughed and said, you have to know people. I said, no, it's about your capacity, your competence, your ability to ask, either as an entity, corporate body, or in whatever capacity. It's a joint venture, it can be any other thing. I said, please, sir, do not go back home and sleep. A lot of things that can be termed as crisis can come up. He said, what a good advice. I said, okay, thank you very much, sir. I will be keeping you on the progress recorded in my new endeavor. It's not actually a new endeavor. We have been into that right from the 90s. Later, we came back to government. Then now we have returned to the battlefield. It's very, very interesting. We decided not to go into the academics, but to remain as consultants. Now, engineering consultancy. What is engineering consultancy? It's a professional service that provides expert guidance and advice on engineering-related investments, be they concept, articulation, ideation, preliminary studies, planning, design, second opinion, pre-inspections, material testing, operations, facility management, works/services supervision, research and development, installation, maintenance of any investment, and many others. You can see how diversified engineering consultancy is. Some of us even offer professional services, engineering-wise, without even our knowledge. Please, I'm doing this. Can you tell me What am I doing? Or without even asking, oh, this thing you are doing is a bit wrong. It's a bit wrong. Please, this is how to do it. So engineering consultancy provides prompt accountability in all aspects of engineering investments in whatever form aimed at realizing value for money within an acceptable payback period. The payback period has to be acceptable. Other parameters have to be there. Safety is there, function is there, economy is there, aesthetics is there, and so on and so forth. But we have a statement of the problem now. Most engineering investment fails to be successfully implemented or fall short of realization of their full potentials in terms of function, safety, aesthetics, and economy if wrong or no consultant is appointed from conception to post-commissioning. Yes, definitely client will not get it right or in line with his expectations if wrong consultant or no consultant is appointed to manage the project. Who is an engineering consultant? This is an individual or a corporate entity empowered by the relevant COREN enactments as amended from time to time to perform the earlier stated tasks. Any individual or corporate entity not covered by the earlier statement provision, I'm referring to the enactment, performs an illegality. So if you decide by merely obtaining a degree or a diploma in any other discipline than engineering, and you have decided to appoint yourself as a consultant, no, that is impersonation and you are performing an illegality. So nobody should be allowed to perform an illegality, and engineers, especially the consultants, must not continue to keep quiet because we have been keeping quiet, but we must not continue to keep quiet. Watch this illegality happening. Commissioning a wrong person or a corporate entity or non-commission of a consultant in most cases misleads stakeholders or client in the successful implementation of the engineering investment. I have decided to draw a small table. I wish it has been shared on the board. We have about 6 columns. The first column is the serial number. Number 2 is the personnel cadre. Number 3, number COREN registered in January 2025. Number COREN registered to date. Distribution per state. Source is COREN. I've drawn up based on the cadres, engineers, technologists, technicians, craftsmen, expatriates, and engineering firms. But because that table is not available, I think I will pay more attention to the engineers. To date, COREN has registered 79,412. If you are to apply a distribution model, there are a lot of distribution models that you can apply to make a statistical analysis. 7,417, assuming we have 37 states, including Abuja, translates to 2,140. If you divide the number of registered engineers per geopolitical, per senatorial district, is nothing to write home about. If you divide by 37, it's still nothing to write home about. If you are to divide by the number of federal constituencies, it's still nothing to write at home about, 360. If you are to divide by 774, that is the number of local governments, there is still nothing to write home about. Worst of it, if you decide to write by 5,990 or so, that is the number of wards in the country. Indeed, it's worse. That means some states do not even have engineers. That means some wards do not even have engineers. Now we are going further. From the statement, these include those that died, those in diaspora, those retired, those not in practice, The expatriates, etc., out of 49,417 described above, some are into construction, some are into sales, some are into research, some are into industrial production, etc. Only very few are engineering consultants. So that director that was saying that I have to know people before getting consultancy work, that means he did not know what consultancy is. See, out of 49,000, divide and share it among those people. Cite a number are into construction. Others have died. Others have left the country. Others so, and so. Of engineering consultants of projects where consultants are required. Over 5,000 MBS in the 3 tiers of government, intervention projects, oil and gas companies, private individuals, multinationals, conglomerates, Dangote, Boa, telecom sector, financial sector, including banks and insurance companies, development partners, including DFID, UNICEF, World Bank, etc., and plenty others. They are even beyond coping by the consultant, by the registered engineers. Coming to ACEN, it's a body registered independent, is a body of registered independent private engineering firms. I am quoting Mr. President, sir. Firms, and is the voice of the profession in Nigeria. Am I right, sir? Year established 1971, year registered 1979. Number of registered members 618. You see, 618. Look at the population. Number of active members 254. Out of 618, only 254. That is representing 41.1% of the total registered. Really, what happened? Over 60% are not really active. I think we need to start asking ourselves, we need to follow up, we need to have a desk officer that will be in charge of policy planning, research, and policy analysis, even at the COREN headquarters, so that we can be looking at what has happened. So it's not even as if we have plenty engineers. We need more registered engineers to come on board. Quite a number into construction, some are sales, some are even working in the banks. So scope of the engineering consultancy, as I earlier enumerated, extends to all branches of engineering profession as per about 17, 18 areas: agricultural, chemical, civil, electrical, medical, computer, geological, materials, mining, environmental, with organizations as provided by the laws of the land, such as PENCOM, NSITF, BPP, FIRS, and so on and so forth, including insurance company. Then evidence of experience in the execution of similar or related projects, accompanied with evidence of successful executions in writing from clients. Completion certificates is what I'm referring to. In the case of private clients, sufficient evidences may not tally with the above, because the private client may not require you to be PENCOM, up-to-date, NSITF. They are after your competence, provided they can prove that you are competent, you have satisfied their own home established criteria, they can still admit you. Indeed, there are some clients, there are some consultants that don't even work for government. They only work for private clients. So it's like that. So the right project, ensuring the pets fit in the right holes. That is what I'm saying. If you are choosing the consultant, for a project to be successfully implemented, a right consultant must be appointed. Where there is a wrong or no consultant, the actualization is bound to be doomed, reflected in the title. That is, the aim and objectives may not be realized of the client's bids instructions. I'm referring to those that are bidding for government projects. If you don't get, you start writing petition, and some of the even employers mark your company as a petition company, and they are always careful because that is your own power. You have the snake tongue. You just write petition. So you have to have somebody who has a clear understanding of the bid instructions, knowledge of the prevailing market rates of all relevant components required, including associated logistics, knowledge of manufacturer specifications, ability to calculate basic rates, apply acceptable profit margins and administrative charges in the preliminaries, main contract, and other provisions, including applicable taxes and insurance covers in the loss of the land. Compliance with submission deadlines, times, all bid operating procedures. Ability to analyze bid operating results without critical assessment and possible comments, arithmetical checks, and mistake implications. Securing the project personnel relevance with relevant registration and experience, company relevant registration and experience, cross-checks to adherence to all bid requirements before submission, company's track record and timely and efficient completion of works, including realization of value in investment within the acceptable payback period, fulfillment of social responsibility to community, personnel and corporate integrity as regards work ethics, ability to control time and money. The consultant must be able to have the ability to control time and money, in addition to other things. Setting up of template to cover compliance with site diary, weekly records, monthly records, quarterly records, site instruction books, preparation of as-built drawings with clear adjustments, materials utilization, then maintenance and facility management, hourly procedures and records, daily procedures, weekly procedures, monthly procedures, annual procedures, computation of actuarial values in asset management, such as appreciations, depreciations. It's not actual, I said actuarial. So it has to do with the asset management. So depreciations, etc. Evolution of new enhanced operational methods aimed at providing efficiency within corresponding value in cost. That means the consultant must be able to introduce innovations in whatever he is doing, so that today will be better than yesterday, tomorrow will be better than today. Supervision operations, strictly according to area of specialization. For example, water treatment plant to consumers, you have to have the relevant person. Refineries through the depot to consumers, either FIFO, first in, first out, LIFO, last in, first out, etc. Dams to the riparians, that is the downstream users. Applications of linear programming to list costs, critical path determination, transportation problem solution, etc. Strictly for private clients, no regulatory MDA certification is required, only work I have mentioned. So now we are approaching conclusion. No investment in whatever form should be encouraged without involving consultants who will give regular reports, suggestions, corrections to ensure value for money. Sir, we need to look at how we can articulate and transmit a bill for an act. It is an offense for any MDA to execute project of a certain magnitude without consultant from the conception to post-contract. Most local governments are doing this. Quite a number of state governments are doing this. I have undertaken an analysis on the number. Though brief analysis, we can write an international journal on this distribution if we decide to apply all distributions. The number of consultants, that is why you are having 2 zonal offices in Lagos. The number of consultants in Taraba and the number of consultants in Kebbi are not up to the number in a particular local government in Lagos. And we are all executing engineering projects. That is why we are not moving forward. Overnight, contractors sometimes are called. Please, from point A to B, they call the director also. We want the BOQ. The director, because he doesn't want to lose his seat, will just go and blindly prepare. And that will be the instrument for the award. When it comes to evaluation, so many things and so on and so forth. Please, we need more and more consultants, and we need more and more due process to be applied so that our personnel will be engaged. Some of these people that are inactive is because they are tired, and the clients are even either ignorant, they don't know what consultancy is. Sometimes they think that consultancy is just trying to assist somebody to come. No. Comprehensive final account must be given by a consultant at the end of the project. So let us look at how we can sponsor a bill for an act in collaboration with COREN and other stakeholders. Then abandoned and defective projects are products of investments without consultants. This must henceforth not be allowed. That's why I called for bill for an act. An efficient asset management, for an efficient asset management, there must be a consultant. As a means of developing local content in line with the presidential executive order, I think should be number 5. Indigenous consultants must be encouraged to work with expatriates as a means of capacity building. This also facilitates cross-fertilization of professional ideas within the management team. I'm referring to the management of the projects or of the investment. It is important to always consider pre-inspections, pre-commissioning, and setting standards on post-commissioning and expected level of service of the project, even before completion. For smooth operation of any investment, it is always important to consider consulting inputs as they relate to environmental and social. I'm referring to the environmental impact assessment, social impact assessment, and fulfillment of social responsibility to the environment, to the inhabitants, for peace to reign. Equally important are policies as may relate to institutions, facility owners, government, and laid down provisions. Thank you very much, sir. I thank you very much for giving me the privilege, and I remain appreciative.
Okay. Thank you very much, our presenter. I'm sure you agree with me. He has done justice to the topic. And then we have learned a lot from what he said. And then he virtually make us to think twice now whether we should go through our representative in the House and Senate to brief them on what we need so that they should have a legislative bill, because we may not have way to have an executive bill from the president. That's one of the advantages also of having some politicians among the engineering family. If this bill can scale through and pass and then ascended by Mr. President, I'm sure the consultants in Nigeria will have no time, because obviously there will be too much of work. So the next thing on the agenda is questions and answers. I don't know either from the online participant or here physically present, if we have 1 or 2 questions to ask. Any question, please? I'm sure that means we have virtually understand very well the message very clearly. I don't know whether Mr. President has 1 or 2 words to say about the presentation. Thank you. Okay, Engineer Haruna, thank you.
Thank you, sir. And standing on the existing protocol, I fixed 1 or 2 things, but just want to share one of my insights was the best value approach. They call it best value approach by the Americans, using information measurement theory. And in their own model, I'm trying to compare with what we have, a contractor and a consultant supervising a particular project, right? And their model, they are looking at joining the two. When you assign the contractor, you should also be the consultant. In that, they are looking at, you get the best value approach in terms of costs, non-deviation, time delivery, variance, and quality of the projects. That's an approach, and I think if you want to appreciate more of that, you can browse Dr. Kashiwagi, information measurement theory. That's the model. And from your presentations, I see a lot of, although we have our own codes, I believe, and our own approach of handling projects, but they are looking at when you assign a project, when you assign a consultant with a contractor, if a consultant will be coming to challenge the contractor, there will be a confusion. That's what they assess. And you may not get the best out of the project. I don't know if you have any remarks to say, but this is just from my research, I got this.
I think with the permission of the Mr. President, people over here physically around, we may give chance to about 3 people online that raise their hands. Can we have an input from anyone?
Well, President, are you calling us one by one, or we can just come in?
You have the floor now, sir. Go ahead.
All right, sir. I'm very, very pleased and very happy with the presentation, very concise and precise. Thank you very much. That is very good. Now, my only problem is we are asking for legislation to make sure that MDAs use engineers. And I'm a little bit worried about that because the government on many occasions have put in some decrees and what do you call it? What do you call this? Table 5, table something that we have had. And nobody is using them. And they are not going to use them because it's not going to allow them free movement. What I'm thinking of is it not possible for us? What I mean us is ACEN, COREN, FNSE, and Co to form a pressure group. I mean, we seem to be accepting too many things. It's the same thing that even happens in industries. In industries, the person that will easily climb up to the MD is the accountant or the lawyer or the marketer. The engineers are too busy trying to make sure the factory works. They never had time. So I believe that there's a need for us, maybe very possibly through COREN, to form a pressure group, and all these executive orders and co will not work because if there's no legislation to back it, nobody's going to use it. So I'm thinking the presenter seems to be quite very deep in the knowledge of what is going on.
Okay. And also, I wish to recognize the presence of our Honorable Treasurer, Engineer Bola Olawe, the Vice President, Engineer Kule Adebayo, and also our Zonal Coordinator for Zone for Ibadan, Engineer Laola Gunju, and many others. So, okay, let me.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Okay, Engineer Bola Olawe, you have any contribution to the?
No.
Okay, thank you for joining. Thank you. What for BP? Can we hear your voice? Adebayo.
Mr. President, other senior engineers here, permit me to stand on the existing protocol. First and foremost, I must tender my apology for coming late. That was due to some circumstances in the office beyond my control. I believe the presenter will do justice to this presentation, knowing the vast experience he had in the profession, the commitment, the interest, and the courage he has been given the upcoming ones. 3, like he said, I believe if there is any time this move can be done, it is this time around. We have committed politicians like the governor of Borno State, the governor of Nasarawa State, and some other members of the upper and lower chambers. I believe if they can be contacted, definitely this issue of not patronizing the engineers, particularly consultants, will come to an end. So I suggest and advise you make a good move to meet them, explain to them the importance. I believe the goal will be attained. I commend the event of the president that actualized this dream and bringing it to Kano to host. And we wish all guests from outside Kano safe journey back to their respective destinations. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Engineer Chairman. And I would like to also make a clarification. Rather, I made a mistake earlier to say that Lagos has 2 zones, but it's rather northwest. Lagos and Ibadan, they are separate zones. That's what makes it 7. Then also on the Engineer Jibrin has stressed, respecting specialty. Otherwise, we form joint venture. This is another area that it has been there in existence right at the onset. You know, sometimes even to find technical support, your colleagues, instead of you know, involving yourself in something that you don't have expertise on. So on the areas of you know, getting lost, I would like to say that Engineer Memaje maybe will support rather after I must have said it. The new COREN, which was pushed by self-funding professional bodies, are supported to, you know, implement and then, you know, do better in this country. So the issue, the laws, what I am trying to say is that the laws are always there. The COREN has made the clear provision that for you, we don't have to, but yeah, if we see that there's always room for improvement in laws, we can do that. The COREN law, even itself, has been amended severally. But currently, what is most important is the enforcement. And the new COREN now, that is why the decentralization has taken place. That is why we now have the regional office. So the ERM has now been, you know, restructured to form ERM and E. So if it's, you know, if we, by the time we are fully on ground to go around and start implementing, and you have also tried to mention, you know, the various disciplines. It has been sectorial now. COREN has seen that one, and then now the ARM and even all of that is now going to work towards the different specialty, that is the different disciplines. Even the upcoming ones, emerging ones will also be incorporated, and then the various groups will be within the ERM and E to see that the compliance has taken place. So is this self-funding that now has pushed COREN? And also in the past, as we say, because even if as ERME now you go around and see infringement, you know, violation, where is the regulation to see that you enforce this? It was not there. But last year alone, 2024, there was more than 10 or 12 regulations that were able to, you know, gazetted. So with that, with those regulations now, if the ERM can now go out, you know, monitor and then bring about integrated with their, you know, we used to seek the audience of the governors too. But with that one, we even had challenges, and then now we have decided that we'll just give them debt, because for the past 3 to 4 years, we are still on the inauguration of PRME in the states. So, and it's the governments that are giving us, you know, the cooperation. So with that one, the Council of COREN has decided that we'll go ahead with our registration. We go ahead with our activities. We just give the government, because government is the state governments themselves, the federal government, they are part of, they have their representatives as in the STCs, that is state technical committees. The National Technical Committee, which is supposed to be the national at the national level, which is supposed to be inaugurated by the Minister of Works, since how many years now, it has not seen the light of the day? 4 years. So we had a lot of challenges, and believe me, all of you know that the Minister of Works is one of us. But in the last COREN assembly, it was, scheduled that he was going to do the expression, but that has not seen the light of the day. So, okay, Engineer Olomo Sharafaddin. Okay, we have seen your hand. So I just wait. I will ask Engineer Maimaje to maybe shed more lights on that, because this is one area that is very important. So unless then you will speak thereafter. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. My friend, welcome back. Actually, what Mr. President says was the correct thing. The only thing he omitted is the regional chair. But now, COREN Council has approved 7 regional committees that are going to have the powers and functions at the COREN Council. And it is expected that everything that the council does can be done by from the region. The Kano region was supposed to have been inaugurated last month. Engineer Habu Gumel is the chair, with A.A. Rabiu, Deputy National President, as member. All the former council members in the Northwest region are members. The Kano chapter chairman is a member, and the NAIC person is also a member, and then the zonal officer and the secretary. Now, why the council does that is so that we break, everything has to go to Abuja. It takes time to get approval and things like that. Now, but the regional office has the powers. If there is any infringement, they will take care of it. Mr. President, that is as far as COREN is concerned. But one issue that I always say, we are our own problem. I will recall when you go to the ministry now, you find the director of engineering or civil or whatever you call it, has a bunch of profiles in his drawer. And he doesn't care who and what, and he just gives his friends or his own company to do the work. Even if he is not qualified to do it, instead of him getting a professional that can do it, he will just, or the governor will just say, okay, give this man the contract. So many places you find the governor will just ask somebody, his friend, go and collect 200 million contract and do it, even without it bidding or anything. So I think if our people, if our engineers will protect the interests of engineers, I think a lot of these problems will be resolved. A lot will be reduced, if not completely eliminated. COREN will be doing its own. But if the person who is to give you the guidelines refuse, I recalled in Katsina, there was a time when the governor appointed somebody who is not an engineer to the road maintenance agency, and he started maltreating the engineers. Any engineer that tells him what to do, he'll fire him. So we got tired. We reported to COREN. Engineer Ali was the president then. They wrote a letter to the governor, and the boy was removed. So if our people will report, because we are not Al-Janu, we have to know what is happening before we act. So I believe our major problem is ourselves.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, Engineer Sharafaddin, you have the floor now.
Thank you, my president. Engineer Olumo Sharafaddin is my name. I thank my mentor, Engineer Maimaje. In fact, he has hit the nail on the head. That is in line with what I want to contribute. Charity, they say, begins at home. We know the numbers of engineers we have in the ministries and other MDAs. We need to call the attention of these people. In fact, what Engineer Jibrin, the immediate past president, just said, if we have to form a pressure group, the pressure group to start from within first. We need to call ourselves to order. And perhaps now, going forward, if register, I mean, those that will be coming up to register as a as a consultant now, if they are retired engineers from government, we need to know what they have facilitated for their colleagues. People feel threatened when they are in government as if their colleagues is coming to take their job. That is not the case. The case is the division of labor. Do your own and let others do. You know what is going around now, that even in development controls, they refuse to accept, I mean, easily accept the designs of their colleagues from outside. Rather, they want the client to bring it to ourselves. This greed is killing us, and we need to really tackle this particular aspect before we even face government. If we can clean our own space, then it will be easier to have a joint position to really come up to government. Thank you. That's my own area of concern, sir.
Thank you very much, Oloma Sharafadin. Yes, and somebody that it's high time that engineers should stop only talking to themselves, or rather, not only talking to themselves, but rather to go out and then talk with the with others. That is the legislators, the executives. Every time now, it's like this forum now, we are talking to ourselves in this forum. So it should be beyond that, because we alone cannot do the magic. So we have to, create, awareness. Just as the guest speaker said that sometimes there is lack of awareness, even within in the public of what even consultants and engineering works are. So there is need for us to be talking to other peoples, talking to the government, talking to and that's what brought about the advocacy. But now let's not take much time and then rather allow the guest speaker to respond to some of these issues that has been raised, while we allow our zonal coordinator and a very senior council member of ACEN, who has joined us all the way from Ibadan. We are Engineer Walila Gunju. Yeah, the first business evening was anchored by him. I had a very good time in Ibadan, and then it's courtesy of Engineer Walila Gunju. As you can see, I don't have to say that, very senior and okay. Thank you. You are happy to have you, sir. But we'll give you 2-3 minutes to relax while Engineer Jibrin will, continue to respond to some of the issues raised. Then you give us 1 or 2 words.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Welcome, sir, Engineer Olagunju. The chairman of APBN has said something about the American model, but something really happened. Under the Nigerian situation, sir, quite a number of contractors are non-engineers.
Yeah.
If we decide to merge consultancy and construction, are we saying that contractors will employ engineers that will subordinate to them? So we need to be a bit careful, and we need to sit down and think carefully in collaboration with all the relevant stakeholders. Even in the National Assembly, somebody was asked, a very senior officer said, "Are you not the contractors?" That is the truth. I don't want to mention names. So then Engineer Ajibade pressure group, certainly NSE, COREN, ACEN, and others must have been speaking the same voice. And they are all members of the COREN Council. These are subjects of discussion. And I believe they have started, and this is an ongoing discussion. Definitely something will come up. Then Engineer Bola, I think, spoke along the same line with Engineer Rabiu. And the president has capped it all. The laws are there. Enforcement is absent, and so on and so forth. But I think with the current effort, there will come a time when engineers from outside the country will be rushing, come and do consultancy services here in the country. And ACEN needs to do more so that more engineers can be trained in the area of consultancy for them to contribute to their own quota, for them to contribute their own quota. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you, Mr. Guest Speaker, Dr. Mohammed Jibrin. General Lagunja, I believe now you are calm. Okay, you know the topic. This is your own area. At any time, you will be able to, add value. So you've had, I think, and we are also online to hear most of the discussions. So if you have few words to say, please.
Thank you, Mr. President, and all our colleagues here in Kano and several others that are online. It's my pleasure even to be able to join our Kano brothers this afternoon. The topic before us is such that, I don't know whether we have talked about it, that most of the time, the challenge that we have, even as consultants, they are more or less from our colleagues that are on the other side. That is on the client side. They play down our role before their, maybe before their management, such that if care is not taken, is affecting us seriously. And I even observed that some engineers within the system, they even try to play the role of consultants. Like they will, we as consultants, we are supposed to do the engineering studies, the design, as well as the supervision. Sometimes you see that they say, we have designed it. I begin to wonder that when did you start designing when you're supposed to be, for instance, a ministry engineer supposed to be regulating the project that is between the consultant and the contractor. So sometimes they take up our role and begin, but most of the time, by the time they now retire, they now come out, they join us, and we join the same market, and they now say they should start complaining. So to a very large extent, I think our colleagues within the system, we still need to reach out to them so that they don't shoot down this industry that we have. We have a very vibrant industry that adds value to projects, adds value to clients, and should not be played on at all. Then another thing is our training as well, because we must train us, we must get to the level that we are indeed adding value to projects. People that are in a hurry even to leave a system, to leave a training system, all because you have got your COREN stamp in 5 years and you think that you can come out and start a consulting firm, what do you really think that you can offer the client? The experience is not there. Quality is important in our service, and that quality will only come after many years of pupillage, many years of working under senior consultants, so that by the time you say that you are having even your own business, you have good things to add even to the client that is engaging you. So 2 things that I've talked about now, the challenge of our colleagues within the system, as well as our own training, so that we are adding quality, we are adding a lot of quality and a lot of value to the clients that we are providing our services for. And when they see the difference between a well-engineered project and others that are just by others, then you will know that they will notice that, and of course the cost comes into play as well. When you see that is executed at best economic price, even to the clients, then definitely they will retain us. They will know that. I want to believe to a very large extent, a good number of clients still recognize the importance of consultants and will never joke with consultants. So we need to do that. We must not fail. We must ensure. And I want to say that even if you happen to be consultant on a project, if it will involve, if it will require you engaging senior consultants to support you so that you can deliver. I mean, because if you fail there, it's affecting us. Your own failure will affect all of us. So we must endeavor that we do not fail in any of the service or any opportunity that is given to us to provide our consultancy services. Thank you.
Okay, the next item, Mr. President, is a brief presentation by Zonal Coordinator ACEN future leaders. Maybe he's going to brief us on their activity, not more than 2 or 3 minutes because of the time. Thank you.
Mr. President, our fathers here present, the guest speaker, Engineer Mohammed Jibrin, our fathers who have joined online, I greet you all. Mr. President, there's a saying that young people willing to push super hard to make something happen are among the most powerful forces in the world. This is by Sam Altman. Because of this, I will seek your permission to deviate a little in thinking, not because we are in disagreement from the topic that has been well presented and articulated, but because we are young minds, we are allowed to freely think beyond normal boundaries. Thank you, my dear coordinator, for the wonderful opportunity to say a few words on this great event happening in the great city of Kano. Distinguished members of ACEN and our dear guests, the business of consulting engineering in Nigeria is going backwards. We have heard all that has been said. Not because we don't have the requisite skills, knowledge, and experience, and certainly not because we cannot uphold the founding principles of ACEN and FIDIC, which are quality, integrity, and sustainability to achieve greatness. But rather, our industry in the state that it is because processes, guidelines, and standards are deliberately not allowed to flourish and manifest in their original and well-thought formats, such that a clear path to desired outcomes, objectives, and goals can be determined by experts and patriotic citizens. On this note, I believe we engineers have a huge role to play in averting this existential tragedy. Let us change the game of waiting to provide services for clients who sometimes are greedy or ignorant of our worth. Let us fine-tune our engineering practice through deliberate attempt to make capital investments by selling quality, well-packaged development, and sell more products of our own patent rights than just rendering services for a fee. That way, we can metamorphose and become the drivers of a knowledge-based economy. The solution lies in our hands. We must revert the direction of the equation, just like in chemistry, Mr. President. By practicing engineering for ourselves and selling the products profitably. In essence, we must think outside the box. Let our engineering bodies and companies begin to act, and the time is now. Let ACEN partner COREN and the likes and establish for example, a world-class academy or polytechnic for artisans with at least one campus in each of the 6 geopolitical zones where top-notch tilers, plumbers, bricklayers, etc. can be incubated with soft entrepreneurial skills. In a country of 200 million, Mr. President, and close to 5% unemployment rate in 2025. If you run that institution, manage it properly, how much money can this partnership business yield? Let us come out of our shells and embrace more partnerships and pursue very big dreams. Land along Katsina Road before Miltara, if we want to operate Kano Katsina, or Zaria Road here, if we want to operate Kano Abuja via Kaduna, or Maiduguri Road, if we want to operate Kano Maiduguri via Yobe, Bauchi, and Jigawa, we highly secured with CCTV cameras and security personnel, uniquely designed, provide classic and convenient traveling experience with fully automated processes of ticketing and payment for both travelers and drivers, and a world-class website. We can even partner with new generation banks to locate mini branches within the facility. We put up our own criteria to register the kinds of vehicles and drivers to be allowed to operate. Do our homework thoroughly to ensure a sustainable business model. This is yet another example of a local solution out of the 1,001 local problems in our community. This is not impossible. And this kind of thinking is what we need. Finally, engineers are known to be optimists. The road to greatness is very clear, but let us challenge ourselves if we are ready to dare it. It is all about God's. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Okay, thank you very much. Indeed, the future is bright. If the coordinator of ACEN Future Leaders will have this thoughtful insight that whatever profession you have, you can decide to be more like just a professional, but you can decide also to explore business activities around the area, enterprising. Next item in the agenda is both of tank by my humble self, the coordinator of this Northwestern Nigeria. I think it's very clear. I have to start with our president for two reasons. One, he is the #1 citizen in the ACEN family. Two, the importance he attached to this program. He is coming back from Hajj. He landed in Abuja this morning. He picked a flight to Kano because of this program without seeing his family. I think we deserve to appreciate him. A special thanks to my senior colleague, who we envy in the council, the person who is chairing Ibadan, one of the second largest zone with the highest number of consultants. I'm sure you have no cause to worry because you have a lot of activities in your area. You are highly welcome to Kano, and then we sincerely appreciate your presence. The guest speaker, let me repeat myself, he has done justice to the topic. You see how he makes people to be so engaging to the extent that some are not even asking questions, they are trying to contribute. I'm sure we learned a lot. We are so very busy people. We live our activities, and I'm sure we are not going to regret being here today. Thank you very much, Dr. Mohammed Jibrin. Our father, the way we call it in Katsina, Engineer Ibrahim Memaje, there is no engineer in Katsina State in the bracket of 50 years that has never been part of the mentorship of Engineer Ibrahim Memaje. Our prayer always is we want to be like Engineer Ibrahim Memaje if you grow. That's our prayer in Katsina. I sincerely appreciate our host, our OGA, the COREN zonal coordinator, whoever read engineering is not an engineer. You have to have license from the COREN to become one. And by law, if he's alive and in this office, nobody in the Northwestern Nigeria would be registered without his recommendation. And he gave us a place to stay. Thank you very much, Mustafa. I'm very glad that your staff have extended their time of work just to be with us. I'm extremely happy. You are indeed a leader because I am sure most of them have know this plan, but you decided to engage them. I'm sure they learned something here. May God bless all of you. For the people online, we have our vice presidents, immediate past presidents, our senior and respected elders. We sincerely appreciate you. I'm very excited and happy to be the organizer of this program for two reasons. One, it is during my time as a coordinator that Kano Zone 2 hosted a business evening. Last year, I did one in Katsina. I hosted president and the MD, and continuously this year, through the advice of Ibrahim Maje, I moved to Kano. It's the first time I can doing business evening in Zone 2 during my time. And the second thing that makes me extremely happy is to have over 120 people in participation, over 80 online or virtual, and over 30 or 20 here present. I'm very glad and happy to hear that. Thank you very much, all of you. And I pray what we learn will be very useful to ourselves, our community, and the country at large. There is no problem that, that engineers cannot solve. You know, we have two types of hosts in any program. The one that I give you, Benu, that is the zonal coordinator. And the number one engineer in the state, who happens to be the branch chairman of Kano. I personally couldn't have time to call him, but he heard about it and he make it possible and he said, thank you very much, our branch chairman. We sincerely appreciate your hospitality. Thank you very much. I think without wasting much of your time, the next item of the agenda should be a closing prayer. Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Just before the closing, we need to do some presentation. I think the plaque is there. It's available now. Then also, I would like to also engineers forum up makes a very beautiful presentation that the mindset has to be changed. Yes. We should paradigm shift. We'll do that. So I think we have listened very attentively to your proposition, and then we felt that we went to really look into it, and then I'm happy that it's coming up. It's the reason behind the idea of having this business evening, to cross-pollinate ideas, so that ideas can be generated and then develop into further proposals. So on this note, I would like you to go further to formally make a submission to us so that we'll carefully look at it, a committee will look at it, and then I believe also our elders, the young ones also have heard you, and then it will go as a thought-provoking sort of, and then eventually I pray and then wish that it will going to culminate into something tangible. Thank you. Thank you for your thinking outside the box. Then also, really, in trying to do acknowledgement for us, for many of us that have made the sacrifice, is passion. The coordinator has tried to do that. As you can imagine, Engineer Maje, long before some of us could join the council and all that, he has done his own. And by now he should be, resting. But it's the passion that they have now. The same thing goes to the guest speaker. So I believe that we all learn from them, and then we always be very passionate about our profession. The same thing is Jawali Lagunju. Look at him all the way from Ibadan, joining us. This should be an inspiration to the young ones and even some of us that are seated here. And just as the coordinator tried to say that I came in this morning from, not only that, I had to abandon my earlier scheduled flight and then purchase another flight to make sure that I come and attend this thing. So, and I hope that this passion will go to continue and continue. And then until we see the prospects are there for and it's all about the development of this country. Yes, some may not really get it, but eventually, as we are talking to ourselves, the advocacy is part of the advocacy. And just as he rightly said, hardly even somebody from the north becomes the president of ACEN you know, the Lagos, the Northwest, with the, you know, apology to my senior colleague here, they have been, you know, engaged with these things, as you have heard, it's over 50 years. ACEN is older than me, myself. I was born 1972 and ACEN is 71. So as you can imagine, ACEN had been there, but how many? My governor was asking, what is this ACEN? When I first presented ACEN to him. So the same thing, so many of them, but that is the reason why that some of us insisted we you know, had to participate for several years to rise like this. And then eventually we said that I insisted. The last EGM also, it was shouldered by two of them. We had it in Kano. It was at risk. My investiture, we had to take it to Maiduguri. It was a serious, you know, risk. You know, even my chairman then told me, former minister, told me that, look, are you sure you want to do it in Maiduguri? With their support, we did it, and it happens to be the best out of, you know, the many investiture that we had in the country. The same thing, the EGM. So it's the passion that we have. So on this note, I urge those online, our young ones that are online, and other members also here present, that please let us, there's always light at the end of the tunnel. And then just as you've heard Engineer Ibrahim Kawa, you know, looking at, you know, having a different look at the whole thing to see that we survive in this, you know, system. So let us all be thinking outside the box to come up with ideas so that we, you know, propel this and then go beyond our challenges. So normally it's a tradition in the Association for Consulting Engineering to appreciate, and then, you know, as a mark of respect and recognition, to honor our guest speakers, any of our functions. And the business, even as I initially said, is one activity in ACEN that is, you know, being so dear to ACEN and the ESCO and the council, that we don't miss it. So on this note, on behalf of the Association for Consulting Engineering, the generality of the membership, the ESCO, and the council, I hereby wish to present this plaque of to our guest speaker at the ACEN Business Evening of the 19 June 2025, to Engineer Dr. Mohammed Jibrin, fellow Nigeria Society of Engineers, former DG CEO, National Board of Technology Incubation. Congratulations, sir. Thank you. And normally, I hope we are still within time. It's supposed to be a 2 hours program. Yes. And I think, okay, much, yeah. We are, time is managed, you know, we started late. It's less than 2 hours. So don't forget that we're going to have a group photograph.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Mr. President, and congratulations to Dr. Mohammed Jibrin for having a presidential handshake this evening. And then we we need to have a closing prayer. I don't know, Mr. President, can we do it individually or?
Start with prayer.
Yeah, do we start with prayer?
You mentioned it, but
yeah, I mentioned, but we couldn't do it. Exactly. So, Mr. President can lead us in the prayer. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, all Muslims say, okay, okay, in General language. So, okay, let's have the let's pray according to our various conviction. So then finally close.
We are going to have a group photograph outside the building as part of the to ensure we have memory, hard copy memories of what we transfer now.
I hope those online are also joining us in the closing prayer. So, So we pray that all will go well. We thank Almighty Allah for giving us the opportunity this evening to successfully held this business evening, and then we hope that for some of us that come all the way from various destinations, Katsina, Ibadan, Maiduguri, Abuja, we'll all be back to our various destinations. And those online, we are having item number 8 also. Please bear with us. And then we also hope that you have a very successful logout. Thank you very much. In the name of